Welcome to our channel HD Rare Coin 111, your go-to spot for uncovering the incredible world of rare US coins. If you've ever wondered if your old pennies, nickels, or dimes are worth more than face value, you're about to find out. In today's video, we'll be exploring some truly rare coins and their shocking values. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. So let's jump in. Top 1. There's something truly fascinating about how a tiny copper coin, one that most people overlook or leave forgotten in drawers and car cup holders, can hold a story so powerful, so rare, that it captures the attention of collectors across the globe. One such coin is the United States of America Lincoln 1-cent penny from the year 1967. At first glance, it may appear to be just another ordinary penny, worn by time and touched by countless hands. But this small piece of American currency holds secrets that make it one of the most talked about and sought after coins in the world of numismatics. Whether it's tucked away in a forgotten coin jar or hidden in plain sight within someone's collection, the 1967 Lincoln penny has a tale that turns it from everyday pocket change into a prized historical artifact. The year 1967 sits at the heart of a fascinating era in American coinage. This was a time of economic shifts, cultural changes, and a transformation in how coins were minted and collected. Just a few years earlier, the United States Mint had removed silver from circulating coins due to the rising value of the metal. Coin collectors had started to hoard coins with silver content, which created a coin shortage. In response, the Mint suspended the use of mint marks from 1965 through 1967, and also reduced the number of collectible coin sets issued during those years. This change inadvertently increased the rarity and mystique of coins minted during this transitional period. The 1967 penny, although made from the same bronze composition as pennies before and after it, became part of this unique chapter in coinage history. An era when changes in policy and production gave rise to unexpected rarities. But what makes this coin so incredibly valuable today isn't just its age or the historical circumstances of its minting. It's the rare variations and striking errors that slip through the careful eyes of mint workers. Imagine a 1967 Lincoln penny struck off center, with a dramatic misalignment that reveals parts of the blank planchet. Or a double die coin where Lincoln's profile, or the words, "In God We Trust," appears slightly doubled and blurred, creating a visual effect that collectors prize. Even more incredible are the examples that have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, bearing no wear marks and displaying the original mint luster. Such coins are almost impossible to find today, especially from a year when so many were immediately put into circulation. And then there's the grading game, where a coin's condition can turn an ordinary penny into a small fortune. Professional coin grading services assign each coin a grade from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better preservation. A 1967 penny graded at MS 67 or higher is exceedingly rare. It suggests the coin has been untouched by time, stored safely away for decades in such a way that its surface remains flawless and its details sharp. When one of these top-grade examples surfaces at auction, it generates serious buzz. Collectors know they're bidding not just on a piece of currency, but on a time capsule, a perfect specimen from an important year in American history. And if that weren't enough, sometimes it's the unexpected that adds the most value. For example, a known but incredibly rare off-metal strike, where a penny was mistakenly struck on a dime planchet, can turn heads and skyrocket in price. These errors are incredibly scarce, but when they do appear, they transform the humble cent into a remarkable collectible, drawing interest from elite numismatists and major auction houses. Every element, from the weight and composition to the strike quality and even the color, plays a role in evaluating just how extraordinary a specific 1967 penny might be. So next time you're sorting through spare change or flipping through an old coin folder, take a closer look at that penny dated 1967. It could be more than just copper, it could be a piece of history, a rare survivor of a transformative time in American minting, and a true treasure hiding in plain sight. And as incredible as it sounds, one verified example of the 1967 Lincoln 1-cent penny, thanks to a combination of exceptional condition and a unique error, was once sold for an astounding $193,000. Top 2. Every once in a while, a coin emerges from the shadows of ordinary pocket change and captures the attention of collectors and enthusiasts all over the world. Among the many fascinating pieces of U.S. currency, there's one coin that continues to stir curiosity and admiration: the 1971 Lincoln 1-cent penny. At first glance, it might seem no different from any other penny you've seen or spent without a second thought. But hidden beneath that small, copper-coated surface is a story that combines American history, minting mystery, and numismatic rarity in a way that few coins can. This is the story of how a simple 1971 penny, struck during a time of economic and political change, became a treasure worth far more than its face value. It's a story that might even inspire you to take a second look at the pennies lying forgotten in your own home. To truly understand the magic of the 1971 Lincoln penny, we have to step back into the early 1970s, an era of transformation in the United States. The Vietnam War, the rise of new social movements, and shifts in economic policy were reshaping the nation. Even in the world of coins, changes were underway. The penny itself had undergone several adjustments over the decades since its introduction in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. But by 1971, the Lincoln cent was still being struck in the traditional bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. However, what makes this particular year intriguing isn't just the context of its production, it's the fascinating errors, the condition rarities, and the unexplained anomalies that slipped through the mint and into history. Most 1971 Lincoln pennies are worth just 1 cent. But what transforms a coin from common to extraordinary is a combination of striking errors, mint condition, and collector demand. One of the most famous and valuable varieties of the 1971 penny is the Double Die Obverse. This error occurs when the coin is struck twice with slightly misaligned dies, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the date, motto, and inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." For those who know what to look for, spotting such a doubling can be like striking gold. These varieties are extremely rare and have become the stuff of legend among coin collectors. Add to that a flawless surface, full original red color, and a high mint state grade from a professional coin grading service, and you have a coin that is more than a cent. It's a historical gem. But that's not the only factor that can make a 1971 penny valuable. Some were mistakenly struck on transitional planchets, such as being minted on leftover 1970 small date blanks, or even foreign coin blanks intended for use in other countries. These off-metal errors are highly prized, not only because of their scarcity but also because they represent a fascinating moment in minting history when human error resulted in something unintentionally rare. Then there are examples with dramatic die cracks, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets, all quirks that might be dismissed as flawed by the average person but are cherished by collectors for their uniqueness. Another aspect that can elevate the value of a 1971 penny is its preservation. The grading system used in numismatics can take a coin's value from a few cents to thousands of dollars. A 1971 penny graded as MS-67 or higher is incredibly rare. The vast majority of these coins circulated heavily, gathering scratches, dirt, and damage over the years. But when a pristine example is found, untouched by time and still gleaming with its original mint luster, it can command top dollar at auction. Collectors understand how difficult it is to find a coin in such superb condition after more than 50 years, and they're willing to pay dearly to own one. The Lincoln penny also holds a special place in American culture. It was the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a real person, and not just any person, Abraham Lincoln, one of the most revered figures in U.S. history. His profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse give the coin a certain emotional and historical weight. This connection to a national icon only adds to the desire to collect and preserve pennies from key years like 1971. And while most people handle pennies every day without giving them a second glance, stories like that of the 1971 Lincoln penny prove that it pays to pay attention. A tiny detail, an unexpected error, or an exceptionally well-preserved coin could be the key to unlocking significant value. And yes, as astonishing as it may sound, one extremely rare example of the 1971 Lincoln 1-cent penny, combining a remarkable mint error with flawless condition and eye appeal, was sold for an eye-watering price of $145,000. Top 3. Have you ever taken a closer look at the coins in your change jar or wallet and wondered if any of them could be worth a fortune? Most of us don't give much thought to the humble penny. It's small, lightweight, and easily overlooked. But hidden among these tiny copper coins are a few rare treasures that can change your life if you know what to look for. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of one such coin, the 1976 Lincoln 1-cent penny. A coin that, under the right circumstances, could be worth far more than its face value, an astonishing sum that has stunned collectors and numismatists alike. So sit back, and let's journey into the world of American coinage where even the smallest coin can carry the weight of history and unexpected value. The 1976 Lincoln penny might seem unremarkable at first. It was struck during the United States bicentennial celebration, a year when the nation was immersed in patriotic pride, honoring 200 years since the Declaration of Independence. While other coins such as the quarter, half dollar, and dollar received special commemorative designs for the bicentennial, the humble penny retained its familiar look, the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But just because the design didn't change doesn't mean 1976 Lincoln pennies are all ordinary. In fact, some of them are anything but. What makes certain 1976 Lincoln pennies so valuable comes down to three important factors: rare minting errors, exceptionally high condition, and unique varieties that slip through the watchful eyes of the U.S. Mint. Let's begin with condition, something that many casual coin holders underestimate. While millions of 1976 pennies were minted, very few survived the decades in pristine, uncirculated condition. Most of them were spent, dropped, handled, and worn down through everyday use. But a small number were preserved perfectly, never seeing circulation, with their bright red copper luster intact. These are graded as mint state coins by professional grading services. A 1976 penny graded MS-67 or higher is extraordinarily rare and can command eye-popping prices at auctions simply because so few exist in that level of perfection. Then, there are the mint errors, unintentional, but incredibly desirable to collectors. Errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, and clipped planchets are all part of the mix when it comes to coins worth serious money. One of the most sought-after errors on a 1976 Lincoln penny is the Double Die Obverse. This happens when the coin is struck twice slightly off position, leading to doubling in key areas like the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," or the date itself. The doubling effect, if dramatic and clearly visible, can make the coin not only a collector's prize but also a financially valuable item. Another type of error that can elevate the 1976 penny's worth is being struck on the wrong metal planchet. In rare cases, a penny intended to be made of a copper alloy was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a different coin or denomination. These off-metal strikes are extremely rare and can only be authenticated through weight tests and professional analysis. When discovered, they become instant collector sensations, fetching massive sums in the numismatic market. But aside from errors in condition, the 1976 Lincoln penny carries historical significance. As a product of the bicentennial year, it was minted at a time when America was reflecting on 2 centuries of independence. Though it wasn't given a special commemorative design, its connection to that patriotic year makes it meaningful for many collectors who seek to complete sets of coins from that historic period. That emotional and historical value often increases demand and price when a rare or pristine example is put up for sale. Coin collectors around the world hunt endlessly for these hidden gems. They scour estate sales, dig through old collections, and even sort through rolls of pennies from the bank just for a chance to uncover that one elusive coin that could change everything. Stories have emerged of people finding rare pennies tucked away in jars or forgotten drawers, only to discover that they hold something far more valuable than they ever imagined. And in the world of the 1976 Lincoln penny, this dream has become reality for a lucky FEW.SO. If you happen to come across a 1976 Lincoln penny, don't ignore it. Look closely. Check the condition. Examine the details. You never know what secrets that small piece of copper might be hiding. Because in at least one verified case, a 1976 Lincoln 1-cent penny, due to its pristine mint state, striking error, and collector appeal, was sold for an astonishing price of $125,000. Top 4. There's something magical about discovering that an ordinary object from your everyday life could be hiding an extraordinary secret. Imagine rummaging through your coin jar, expecting nothing more than spare change, and finding a small, worn penny that turns out to be worth more than a luxury car. That's the kind of story coin collectors dream about, and it's not as impossible as it sounds. Today, we're turning our spotlight onto one of the most overlooked coins in American currency, the 1978 Lincoln 1-cent penny. A coin that most people pass over without a second thought, but under the right conditions, it could be a true hidden treasure. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting to explore the fascinating world of coin collecting, this humble penny from the late 1970s might surprise you with its remarkable history, peculiar details, and astonishing value. At first glance, the 1978 Lincoln penny looks like every other cent that has passed through your hands. It features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has stood the test of time since it was first introduced in 1909. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands in detailed symmetry, with the words, United States of America, and E pluribus unum, arching above it. But don't let this common appearance fool you. There's more to this copper coin than meets the eye. During the late 1970s, the U.S. Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents each year, but not all were created equal. Variations in the minting process, changes in materials, and the occasional slip-up by the mint's quality control created a handful of unique coins that stand out from the crowd. These rare examples are what collectors dream of. In the case of the 1978 penny, certain varieties and errors have become legends in the numismatic world. One example includes coins that were struck on transitional planchets, those made of a metal intended for a different year or denomination. In rare situations, a 1978 penny was struck on a leftover blank from a previous minting cycle, giving it an unusual weight or color that immediately alerts collectors to its rarity. Another high-value feature to look for in the 1978 Lincoln penny is a strong double die error. This type of error occurs when the coin is struck twice with misaligned dies, causing doubling in inscriptions like Liberty in God We Trust, or the date. Such errors are not only visually striking but also incredibly rare, and that rarity is what drives up the price among collectors. Even subtle doubling, if verified by professional grading services, can turn an everyday penny into a valuable artifact worth thousands of dollars. Beyond errors, condition plays a massive role in determining value. The majority of 1978 pennies have seen decades of use: pocket change, cash registers, and piggy banks. Most have scratches, discoloration, and wear that diminishes their appeal. But a very small number were preserved in pristine condition, often pulled directly from fresh mint rolls and carefully stored away. These coins, known in the collector world as mint state examples, can be graded on a scale from MS-60 to MS-70, with MS-70 being a flawless coin. A 1978 penny graded MS-67 or higher is exceedingly rare and draws strong attention when it hits the auction block. Even more, if it carries a known error or is a unique variety, the value can rise dramatically. One of the more fascinating aspects of collecting coins like the 1978 penny is the detective work involved. Every detail must be examined: the color of the copper, the sharpness of Lincoln's profile, the clarity of the lettering, and the placement of every feature on the coin's face and back. With a trained eye, or the help of professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, you can uncover hidden gems that most people would overlook. That sense of discovery, of finding a needle in the haystack, is what makes coin collecting so rewarding. The 1978 Lincoln penny also has its place in American history. The late 70s was a period of political change, economic challenges, and cultural shifts. From the aftermath of Watergate to the rise of new economic policies and inflation concerns, every piece of currency from that era carries with it the spirit of the time. Even a single penny can be a silent witness to the events and people who passed it from hand to hand. This emotional and historical connection adds another layer of value, one that goes beyond mere dollars. So the next time you're sifting through your loose change, don't just gloss over that small copper coin. Pull out your magnifying glass, take a closer look, and consider the possibility that you might be holding something rare. Because as unbelievable as it may sound, one such 1978 Lincoln 1-cent penny, due to its mint condition and rare error, was sold for a jaw-dropping amount. The final price? An incredible $115,000. Top 5. Have you ever wondered if that old penny sitting in your drawer could be worth more than just 1 cent? What if I told you that one specific penny from 1979, yes, the simple, copper-colored Lincoln 1-cent coin, could actually be a hidden treasure, waiting to be discovered? Welcome to the fascinating world of coin collecting, where even the most ordinary-looking coins can turn out to be worth small fortunes. And today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1979 Lincoln penny, a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket change, holding secrets that only the trained eye of a collector can see. Buckle up, because what you're about to learn might change the way you look at coins forever. The Lincoln cent has a long and proud history, first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the iconic profile of Lincoln on the obverse has remained a staple of American coinage ever since. By 1979, the reverse still featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. But what makes the 1979 penny stand out isn't the design, it's the details, the minting quirks, the hidden anomalies that make it a standout among millions. During this era, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies every year. Most were quickly put into circulation, exposed to years of wear and tear. But a few select coins escaped that fate, never circulated, stored in pristine condition, or minted with rare and collectible errors that make them incredibly valuable today. The 1979 penny, in particular, is one that collectors pay close attention to, and there are several reasons why. First, let's talk about the errors. Errors are what make everyday coins truly unique. With the 1979 Lincoln penny, one of the most sought-after varieties is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin becomes misaligned or doubles during the minting process, causing a distinct doubling effect on the coin's lettering or details, especially visible on "Liberty in God We Trust" or the date itself. A sharply doubled die is rare and can instantly transform a regular penny into a collector's dream. These errors are usually verified and authenticated by professional grading services, and once confirmed, they command huge premiums at auctions. But the story doesn't end there. Some 1979 pennies were also struck on transitional planchets. Planchets being the blank discs used to strike coins. Sometimes, older or incorrect metal compositions were mistakenly used, resulting in a coin that weighs slightly more or less, has a different color tone, or reacts differently to magnets or metal detectors. These transitional errors are incredibly rare and are highly valued due to their scarcity and historical intrigue. Condition is another factor that dramatically affects a coin's value. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, and while most 1979 pennies found in change are heavily circulated and damaged, a few have been preserved in what's called mint state condition. An MS-65, MS-66, or even higher can mean the coin is nearly flawless, perfect sharpness and detail, beautiful luster, and no signs of wear. Combine that pristine condition with a known error or rare variety, and you've got something truly special on your hands. What adds to the mystique of the 1979 penny is its place in American history. The country was in a period of transition, dealing with economic instability, inflation, and political change. In times like these, even the smallest objects, like a penny, take on new meaning. They become a snapshot of the era, a tiny piece of the puzzle that is American life in the late 20th century. And for collectors, owning such a coin isn't just about the monetary value, it's about holding history in the palm of your hand. So, how do you know if your 1979 penny is worth something? First, check the mint mark. Pennies from Philadelphia will have no mark, while those from Denver or San Francisco will have a D or S. Next, examine the coin under a magnifying glass for signs of doubling, unusual coloration, or flawless surfaces. If anything looks unusual or too perfect to be true, it may be time to have it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A small investment in grading could unlock a much larger payoff. Coin collecting is more than just a hobby, it's a blend of history, art, economics, and adventure. And sometimes, the most incredible finds are hiding in plain sight. The 1979 Lincoln penny is one of those coins that continues to captivate collectors with its rarity, its surprises, and its potential to deliver life-changing value. It serves as a reminder that in the world of numismatics, nothing is ever truly ordinary. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the answer to how much this unassuming little coin could be worth. One rare 1979 Lincoln 1-cent penny, featuring a high-grade mint state and an authenticated error, has fetched an astonishing price at auction. That value? An incredible $110,000.